Our position is we wanted to remain in the EU. The dynamic changed after the Brexit referendum, and we've had to invest a lot of time in negotiations. But the political process in the United Kingdom is indeed evolving on a daily basis, and now there's a growing momentum, or perhaps mainly in the Labour ranks, as to promoting the idea of a second referendum, a people's vote. And we're supportive of a people's vote if the choice is between a acceptance of a withdrawal agreement or remaining within the EU. If that was on the cards, if that was an option, then certainly we think that that is an option that should be pursued and should be supported. We accept it is very unlikely in current political circumstances in the UK. But if it is an option, and if there is growing momentum, then of course we would support it.
It's not very clear what exactly a people's vote is. You say in or out, but if we're talking about deal or no deal and voting on the deal, people need to be aware that the option might be a no deal.
A private member's bill that has been introduced in the United Kingdom Parliament on the second vote, on the people's vote, it is precisely on the option, promoting the option of either accepting the withdrawal agreement or remaining within the EU. That is something that, of course, the GSD would support if it is a viable option that proceeds and progresses in the United Kingdom political system.
Well, it's a bit of a catch-22. You support it if it gathers momentum. It won't gather momentum unless it's supported.
Well, clearly, we all need to put our grain of sand, and we are perfectly realistic within the GSD as to where our main efforts need to be invested, and that is in the negotiations, in the reality of the political dynamic that we find ourselves, that we are exiting the EU. So that is where the main effort should be. But it is also very clear, just by monitoring the press, that we are in a very rapidly evolving political scenario in the United Kingdom, and that to the extent that it is possible that people's vote idea acquires momentum, then we add our little grain of sand to say that in Gibraltar we would support it.
Well, that grain of sand has already been added with members tweeting in their personal capacity. Does the party endorse these tweets?
Well, look, clearly the party policy is as we've set out in our press release, and those tweets are perfectly aligned with party policy. So there is no doubt, there is no sort of blue water between the tweets and the press release. The tweets echo the press release and the other way around.
Well, not really, because the tweets actually proactively advocate a second referendum, and that's not your party's policy, is it?
No, our party policy is that we support the idea of a people's vote, but we recognise it may be unlikely, but we add our grain of sand that that is something that should be actively promoted and accepted and supported within Gibraltar. I think those tweets are perfectly in line with party policy.